Right now, it's the final countdown for farmers and market goers. Chris is tracking what the weather will be like at the second to last outdoor farmers market of the year. And a Badger bounce back. Wisconsin football returns to Camp Randall to face Iowa, and both teams are coming off a bye week. Can the Badgers rally from 2 losses on the road? We have a preview of this afternoon's game.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, November 9th. I'm Keely Arthur and with meteorologist Chris Reese. How long has it been since we've had you?
Oh man, on a Saturday morning?
Yeah.
I was gonna say 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah, at least.
It's been a while.
And for good reason. You've been helping out our folks in lacrosse. One of them is on maternity leave, Michelle Podell.
Yes, so I've been filling in for her, and then I also had my own vacation in the mix down to Arizona. So 2 weeks ago this morning, I was waking up in Los Angeles.
I bet you were waking up.
The weather was a lot warmer.
Wish you were waking up there right now. I know.
Well, but we're warmer today, Keely, and so that's the good news. We're starting out right around 30 degrees. And yesterday we didn't make it here for the high. So this is the impact of a southerly wind. A warm front came through overnight, and we watched those temperatures warm up throughout the overnight hours. Winds are out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. So yes, there's a little bit of a wind chill. So that wind chill makes it feel like 22. Now, Weather Track did show some overnight flurries that moved through at times. A lot of this didn't stick, and the air is fairly dry as well. So very little of that actually made it down to the ground. There will be other flurry chances through the weekend, but today we focus on the fact that we are going to be warmer. Temperatures will make it up towards 37 by noon. We're topping out this afternoon into the low 40s. Yes, I do think the cloud cover wins out, but the low 40s is the name of the game, folks, and there's reason to soak that up.
I'm very excited for this 41-degree weather. I always go for walks, and yesterday I braved it. Hopefully won't have to wear that many layers
today you should be good. Well, I mean, you can shed a couple layers, but you're still going to want some sort of jacket.
Yeah, it's still going to be high at 41.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, new this morning, President Donald Trump and the First Lady are getting ready to fly to Alabama to watch this afternoon's Louisiana State-Alabama game. Meanwhile, Democrats in Washington are getting ready for the impeachment probe to go public. Open hearings will be televised starting next week, a decision the president voiced his disapproval of before he boarded a plane Friday.
They shouldn't be having public hearings. This is a hoax. This is just like the Russian witch hunt. This is just a continuation.
Newly released transcripts from 2 key witnesses suggest the president's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, helped establish the terms of a possible quid pro quo. Friday, Mulvaney ignored a subpoena to testify and has downplayed his role. More local news now. Governor Tony Evers is proposing raising state employees' minimum wage to $15 an hour. He quietly released the 2019 through 2021 state employee compensation plan overnight. It calls for the minimum wage increase to begin June of 2020. It also calls for a 2% across-the-board salary increase in each year of the biennium. The entire plan is subject to legislative approval. And UW-Madison will increase the minimum wage for hourly employees to $15 an hour for sure. The release came out shortly after the governor's budget plan. The UW's wage increase will take effect in the spring of 2020. The university estimates the cost to boost the minimum wage will be about $1.1 million. In Milwaukee, the Common Council approved a new pilot program overnight, giving $500 a month to dozens of low-income families. It passed on a 12-3 vote. The 18-month pilot program will help 50 families in certain zip codes that will be identified within a certain margin of poverty. The money will be able to be spent any way the family wishes. A military record-keeping agency has confirmed the military service of a Milwaukee man charged with a hate crime, accused of throwing battery acid on a Latino man. The National Personnel Records Center confirmed Clifton Blackwell served in the Marines from 1975 to 78. His mother said he suffers from post-traumatic stress. The 61-year-old is charged with first-degree reckless injury as a hate crime in the November 1st attack. We have a first alert traffic update this morning that could impact your weekend plans. Traffic shifted onto the new Verona Road overnight. Crews are putting the final touches on the expanded lanes between Raymond Road and County PD. Starting tomorrow morning, 3 lanes will be open for southbound Verona traffic. By Monday morning, 3 northbound lanes will open as well. And the Badger football team is a 9.5-point favorite against Iowa this afternoon at Camp Randall. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock, and today's game will be a homecoming for Iowa, running back Torin Young, who helped Monona Grove High School to a WIAA state football championship as a sophomore. This season, Young is Iowa's second leading rusher with 366 yards and a touchdown. He's looking forward to returning to Madison because even though he's now a Hawkeye, he is still a Wisconsin guy at heart.
It's definitely a great opportunity. I grew up not too far from the stadium and watched a lot of Wisconsin football, so to get the opportunity to go there and play against them is always fun. And it's exciting. A lot of family, friends, teachers, coaches will be there, so it's definitely fun. Both programs pride themselves on being physical and tough and playing that smash mouth, hard-nosed football. So it's definitely going to be a physical game, and it's going to be a good one.
And if you're going to be at the Badgers game or in the downtown area, expect to see a low-flying military aircraft. The State Department of Military Affairs says at approximately 3 o'clock, a KC-135 refueling tanker from Milwaukee will perform a flyover at Camp Randall as part of pre-game festivities. Tomorrow, the Packers are back to work. They'll host Carolina's Panthers at Lambeau Field Sunday afternoon at 3:25. For the Packers, it's Carolina this week, a bye week, then a road trip to San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers knows the team needs to get back on track with a win tomorrow.
This is an important one for us to bounce back. I think that's the main focus. Obviously, we know what's coming after this week, and we know what's coming after that week as well. This is an important one for us to get back on track, a home game. We've been good at home this year. We're 4-1, and excited about the weather. The colder the better, I say this time of year. We can set ourselves up to be in a position to play some really meaningful games in December, but we got to take care of the ones at home.
And ahead of Veterans Day, a World War II veteran will be laid to rest tonight in Beloit, decades after being shot and killed in action. Sergeant Robert Markavell remains were recovered from Papua New Guinea and identified using DNA. Sergeant Markavell signed up to serve in the Army after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. He has 4 living siblings and many nieces and nephews who didn't expect to hear their loved one was coming home from war. His niece, who never had the chance to know her uncle, shares what it means to have him home.
Always almost like a fairy tale, we had this uncle and we had this picture and we had these stories. Well, now we actually have our uncle.
Sergeant Markavell will be buried in Beloit next to his parents and receive full military honors. Parents and students are getting ready for the first quarter report card. Studies show transitioning from elementary school to middle school can lead to worse grades. It's something researchers at UW-Madison are trying to prevent. Along with attendance issues and behavioral problems at the 6th grade level, they came up with a simple survey asking those tweens about their biggest challenges and best advice, and then sharing those responses with their peers.
I think that is something that is much more believable to kids and something that doesn't appear as something so preachy and something that they have to do. Rather, this was just simple advice that, look, this is tough for everybody.
That message of belonging and solidarity is one that's emphasized in Tokay Middle School. We'll show you how teachers and administrators are doing that and tell you why the UW's research could be an affordable option that helps all 6th graders. That's tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning, Sunday, starting at 6:30. For the first time, medical assistants are graduating from a new program at UW Health.
I think that's like the best thing to do, how we did the apprenticeship program. It actually helped us. We got to learn as we was learning in the classroom. We got to go into the clinics, also learn there, and I feel like it helped us more.
Throughout 11 months, the class completed 400 hours of classroom work and 2 1,000 hours of clinical instruction. Medical assistants are in demand. Students need to identify with underserved communities and have at least 1 year of work experience at Meriter, UW Health, or SSM Health before applying. Schwinn is donating 125 new bikes to an organization that serves foster families across Wisconsin. Employees worked to assemble the bikes Friday at the company's Madison headquarters. The nonprofit organization Together We Rise will then distribute the bikes across the state throughout 2020. It's part of Schwinn's larger Give Back campaign, donating $125,000 worth of bicycles to celebrate its year of business. Time right now is 5:10. The sun is hopefully going to come up pretty soon, and it is the second to last farmers market of the year. You are taking a live look over the Capitol. Chris has your full market forecast just ahead.
How about this to make you feel warm on a Saturday? These temperatures, folks, are significantly warmer than we were just 24 hours ago. Some folks nearly 30 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. And folks, that warmth is what we focus on as we go through today. We're going to see those temperatures making it into the 40s. We'll stay dry today as well. But then the colder air makes a comeback by the time we end the weekend. That will come with the push of some light snow late Sunday night into Monday, and then more unseasonably near record cold temperatures do return by the time we get you towards the start of next week. But folks, I do want to focus on today. We did not make it to 30 yesterday, but as you wake up this morning, this is right where we are starting out in Madison. Boscobel at the freezing mark. La Crosse already 1 degree above freezing. Janesville at 32 as well, 28 as you work your way up towards the Wisconsin Dells. Again, we are at 30 here in Madison. Those winds out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. Now, folks, when you get a wind coming from any direction with temperatures this chilly, you do end up with a bit of a wind chill. So it feels like 22. But, folks, it is going to be warming up as we go throughout the day. Speaking of the cooler temperatures, though, that is going to impact girls on the run this morning. And starting out at 8 o'clock, temperatures will be right around 33 degrees instead of 25. That will need updating. But the faster you run, still the warmer you will certainly stay. Now, if you've looked at radar overnight, we did see some flurries come through, though the air is still relatively dry, so I have my doubts that a lot of this actually got to make it to the ground. The truth is, the upper Midwest is fairly dry, but we are under the influence of a warm front that's moving off towards the north and east. High pressure towards the south and east means we're going to get that mild southerly flow as we go through today. That's why our temperatures are going to be able to warm up into the low 40s for those highs. Here we are at 4:30 this afternoon. Temperature should be right around 41 at that time. We'll start to see those temperatures fall back, and I can't rule out at least the possibility of an isolated shower, but I still think the air is going to be just dry enough that most folks stay dry today. Sunday, pay attention to what happens. These winds begin to turn out of the north, so we'll see a high in the mid-30s on Sunday, but as we go through Sunday night, another cold front pushes through. This will have limited moisture with it, but there may be a little burst of snow late Sunday night into Monday as that cold front comes on through. It shouldn't stick or amount to much at all, but Monday we're going to be starting out into the teens, and we will not warm up beyond the mid-20s on Monday. Tuesday, we will struggle to get out of the teens. Look at that high right around 20 degrees, a morning low of 6.
Oh, gosh. All right. And then it's going to be like a feels like 0 situation.
That is, you've got it down pat.
See?
There we go.
Yeah, totally. It's from watching you all these times,
well,
Chris.
what do you know?
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Keely.
Well, since it looks like Christmas came early outside, a holiday tradition 6 decades strong is back at Clanson's in Middleton. Staff dressed up this giant gingerbread house, and it's on display through the holiday season. The base is made of plywood, and it's covered with gingerbread cookies, icing, and decorations. Very cool. Well, it is officially bell season, and the first weekend for the Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle campaign. Organizers say the money raised goes to help more than 4.5 million people during the holiday season. New this year, bell ringers will now accept digital donations through Apple Pay and Google Pay. You can make a donation in person at 63 kettle stands across Dane County, and you can register to ring for a 1 or 2 hour shift on our website. Looking ahead, if you're still making your Thanksgiving plans, you might want to consider a trip to another city. Wallet Hub is out with its list of best places to go this holiday, naming St. Paul, Minnesota as #1. Scottsdale, Virginia Beach, Orlando, and Denver round out the top 5. Madison comes in at 33. Researchers looked at costs of Thanksgiving dinner and flights to volunteer opportunities and weather. Time right now is 5:18, and Dennis Quaid does his best to survive the holidays in an upcoming Netflix series. And Samuel L. Jackson tries to outsmart the banking system in The Banker. Plus, there are several new shows and movies to check out this weekend. Will shares his picks in 3 things to watch. Trending news is just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. Apple has released the first trailer for The Banker. The drama stars Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie as two businessmen who hatch a risky plan to help African Americans pursue the American dream back in the 1960s. The Banker hits theaters on December 6th, just before its Apple TV Plus release in January. And get ready for more hustle and bustle of the holiday season. Dennis Quaid tries to survive the hectic days before and after Christmas in the Netflix series Merry Happy Whatever. Quaid plays a strong-willed patriarch from Philadelphia who's balancing the stress of the holidays with the demands of his close-knit but eccentric family. Merry Happy Whatever will be available on streaming this Thanksgiving. A little less than 3 weeks from Turkey Day, you do not have to wait to watch something great. Here are Will Loper's 3 things to watch.
What were you employed to do?
I translated signals intelligence, and I reported anything of interest to my clients.
You're a spy.
New on digital streaming this week is Official Secrets.
Intelligence may be being manipulated to take this country to war.
I could get you a copy.
You're asking me to collude in a breach of the Official Secrets Act. Some call that treason.
Keira Knightley stars as British intelligence officer Catherine Gunn, who leaks a memo detailing illegal spying by the U.S. in the true-life story.
Someone has betrayed their government and their country.
You might need our help.
If we do not go public, we would be conceding that no one can ever tell the people when their government is lying.
Official Secrets is available to rent or buy on all digital platforms now.
Do you want to risk it all?
A king has no friends. Only followers and foe.
Newly arrived to Netflix is the film The King.
A new chapter of my life has begun. As prince, I spent my days drinking, clowning. Now I find myself the king.
Timothée Chalamet stars as a young man who reluctantly takes the throne of England and has to deal with the palace politics and drama that come with it.
I need men around me I can trust. You are my friend. I will come with you. Now you will be watched over by an altogether different king.
The King is available to stream on Netflix now.
On me!
Buckle up.
You might want to just...
Finally, if you just want to watch explosions, muscles, and cars, Hobbs & Shaw is out on home video this week. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham star as two men who had too much testosterone with their breakfast cereal and must find a way to work together to stop super soldier Idris Elba.
We're gonna need cars and guns.
Oh, I can handle that part.
Hobbs & Shaw is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Looks like some pretty good picks. There's much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we are running through the morning's top stories, plus the cold case cracked, what we now know about the murder of a woman in Racine County 20 years later. We'll be right back. Right now, Job Market Jumpstart inside the innovative high school program, preparing students for careers, no college debt or degree required.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's November 9th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. President Donald Trump and the First Lady are getting ready to fly to Alabama to watch this afternoon's Louisiana State-Alabama game. Meanwhile, Democrats in Washington are getting ready for the impeachment probe to go public. Open hearings will be televised starting next week, a decision the president and many Republicans are against. Newly released transcripts from 2 key witnesses suggest the president's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, helped establish the terms of a possible quid pro quo. Friday, Mulvaney ignored a subpoena to testify and has downplayed his role. Governor Tony Evers is proposing raising the state employees' minimum wage to $15 an hour. He quietly released the 2019 through 2021 state employee compensation plan overnight. It calls for the minimum wage to increase at the start of June 2020. It also calls for a 2% across-the-board salary increase in each year of the biennium. The entire plan is subject, of course, to legislative approval. The Badgers football team returns home this weekend today, and they're hoping to end a 2-game losing streak against the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's a big game for both teams, with the winner still alive for a spot in the Big Ten championship, but the loser being left out of the race. The Badgers have won the last 3 meetings against Iowa. Kickoff is set for 3 in the afternoon, and here to share to us what this weather is going to be like at 3. I mean, it's been all over the place, Chris. Are people going to be cold at Camp Randall?
You might be, because things are still going to be chilly for November, although today is going to be a lot warmer than we've been lately. So things are warming up, but by the time we get you towards Sunday, we're also going to be tracking a chance for some light flurries as the colder air moves in. That's going to be mainly Sunday night. The real cold comes in next week. But for today, this is the milder day. We're starting those temperatures out at 30 degrees in Madison. Janesville starting the day out at 32. These winds are coming out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. And folks, as long as we keep that southerly wind in play pretty much all day long, that does mean that we will wind up on a warmer note. Weather Track did show some flurries overnight. A lot of that didn't reach the ground just because the air is fairly dry. We'll track another chance of some flurries tonight. But again, the air is going to be fairly dry, so I'm not sure that that will reach the ground. But watch those temperatures go from 31 to 37 as we go throughout the morning. 37 should be that temperature closer towards kickoff time today. I actually think we'll maybe be even warmer. We're looking at a high right around 41 today, and that is what folks will face as they head to the Badgers game, Keely.
Chris Reese with the good news. Thank you, Chris. For many students, one reason to get a college degree is to have the chance to make a good living. But for most, a degree also means debt. This year, about 70% of college students graduated with student loan debt, averaging around $33,000 per student. One innovative high school program is preparing students to move straight into good-paying jobs without a college degree or even trade school. Barry Peterson talked to those students participating in Job Market Jumpstart.
It looks like an aircraft maintenance hangar, but it isn't.
Do you guys have your stethoscope?
Or a real hospital room.
My chest is tight.
Not that either. And yes, this is a fully equipped auto repair shop.
Let us know when you have a good connection.
Where some cars are right off the assembly line.
What else is dangerous under here? High voltage, everything.
But these aren't mechanics, not yet. They are students at an unusual high school called the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus, where 16-year-old Taylor Oden has a plan. Go from high school to work.
My mom wasn't very ecstatic about it. Would rather me go to college. And so is my dad, but understands that you don't need to go to college to be successful nowadays.
And at auto service facilities like this one for Rickenbaugh Cadillac in downtown Denver, mechanics' salaries can get high, says service manager Blaze Flaherty.
You could do as well as $100,000 or plus with the right shop, the right amount of work, the right amount of education, and the right amount of dedication.
Wow, that's more than comfortable.
The school opened this year, a $43 million custom-built facility with specialized classrooms. Like this fully equipped restaurant kitchen designed to mimic real-world settings where the learning is hands-on.
We're building a tower vertically.
Students are volunteers and must also attend and pass regular high school classes to get their diploma. And while some students may go on to college, others here will go right to jobs. That was a tough sell for Principal Mark Morgan.
I get the sense that a lot of parents are not always comfortable with the idea of not going from high school right to college.
And so for parents, we're really trying to educate as well that what really matters is having a successful plan where a student will graduate high school and go into a career where they can be happy and healthy and something that can sustain them.
What areas are you experiencing pain in?
My leg hurts.
Oh, okay. So that sounds like something within your scope to go ahead and help her with.
The most popular class is 4 months of training to be a certified nurse's aide. Teacher Melissa Legg is a registered nurse.
That certification exam, once they pass it, they have it in their hand. They can go to that employer and say, I'm certified to work as a CNA in a hospital, home health, long-term care, rehab, you name it.
What's the demand for these students in terms of people looking to hire them?
They want them yesterday, basically.
It took a lot of work to create an aircraft mechanics class. First, they needed aircraft. They bought a used 1981 helicopter and 2 planes that were flown to a nearby airport and then, at dawn on a Sunday morning, towed to the school.
What do you think would happen with that dent right there?
We take this part off and then just restructure that, I guess.
Thor Barlow is a senior.
What does it mean to you, Thor, to have this kind of opportunity to learn by doing?
I absolutely love it. I'm a very visual learner. I'm a very hands-on learner. You can go inside, like you can see all these open engines, you can see how all that works, how it fits together, how if this doesn't work, it can either affect just a little bit of the engine or the entire thing.
And the school got FAA approval to graduate certified aircraft mechanics, training that instructor David Williamson says can be very pricey.
If these kids had to go to a school, what would it cost them to get this certification?
About $40,000.
Really?
Really.
And this is basically free?
Basically free, yes, sir.
And are there jobs out there when they walk out of here?
Yeah, there's plenty of jobs out there.
Another skill students learn, how to succeed after they've landed a job.
So 30% of every student's grade on this campus is about professional skills. It goes to work ethic, showing up to work on time, what it means to truly collaborate, what it means to lead and to be led.
And that's the real lesson taught here, that success can be a good career with good pay and doing what you love.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, that's
It is.
More local news now. A 64-year-old woman from Florida is now charged for the 1999 murder of a woman in Racine County. The victim had been a Jane Doe until now, identified as 23-year-old Peggy Lynn Johnson. The person arrested is 64-year-old Linda LaRoche of Cape Coral. She's charged with first-degree intentional homicide and hiding a corpse. Investigators say the victim's body was found in a cornfield in 1999 in the town of Raymond.
Peggy is currently buried as Jane Doe, as we know, at the Holy Family Cemetery in Caledonia, Wisconsin. In the coming weeks, we are going to make arrangements for Peggy Lynn Johnson to be buried alongside her mother in Belvidere, Illinois, where she can be laid to rest with her true identity and at some level of peace.
Officials say the victim was cognitively disabled, and at age 18, her mother died. That's when LaRoche took Johnson into her care. LaRoche is currently in custody in Florida. She waived extradition and returns to Wisconsin to face charges. Heads up, hunters, the state has a reminder for you before you head up north to the cabin for deer hunting season. Any firewood you're taking with you should stay behind. The state says it can be illegal, and it's always a bad idea to move firewood across county lines. Invasive species like eggs from the gypsy moth and emerald ash borer can travel with the wood. Instead, plan to purchase your firewood at the location you're headed to. And looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we have got you covered. From the perfect event for all dog lovers to an early way to get into the holiday spirit. Your Weekend 608 is up next on News 3 Now this morning. It is the weekend in the 6:08.
And here's a look at what's happening right around town.
All right, lots of good things, Chris. Calling all dog lovers. This Sunday at the Alliant Energy Center is the Wisconsin Dog Fair. It's the perfect thing to attend if you're considering getting a dog, but don't know what breed is right for you. Obviously, this is not the right video.
Yeah,
At the
right.
fair, you'll be able to talk to experts on different dog breeds, learn about veterinary care, and even watch dogs run agility courses and dance. Who doesn't want to see a dog dance? You might meet your new best friend.
Now, what if you just want to go pet and play with dogs?
I think that should be fine.
Okay. All right, well,
We could do that.
If you want to run, it's going to be a cold one for this year's half and full marathon. The Madison Marathon races do start tomorrow at 7 a.m. at the state capitol. They'll go through the UW Arboretum campus, past Warner Park, and back to the Capitol, with the last runners finishing right around 1:30. There are lots of places to watch and cheer on the participants. Police officers will be stationed throughout the course, of course, allowing people to cross only when it can be done safely. Route maps are available on the city's website.
Of course, you nailed that. And the countdown to the holiday season is on. The 31st annual Holiday Fantasy in Lights at Olin Park will turn on for the year today. Santa will flip the switch on at the 7-week display at 6 o'clock tonight. The Fantasy 5K run starts at the same time, and the public can start driving through the lights at 7. The lights will be on from dusk until dawn until January 4th. Have you ever done that?
I did it for the first time last year and saw Christmas lights with snow for the first time last year. It was nice.
Great memory. We should go together this year. That'd be
I was
kind
going
of
to
fun.
say, I'm already ready to do it again. I was tempted.
All right. Well, remember, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all the best the Madison area has to offer.
All right. Well, you were looking live over the Capitol right now. I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now this morning.
But first, let's take a look at who is turning 3 today. Happy birthday, Thomas, and to all the other kiddos. We'll be right back.
Good Saturday morning. One of the many events going on this weekend does include Girls on the Run in Waunakee. If you're going to be headed out, temperatures are going to be a bit warmer this morning. We're starting out in the 30s by 8 o'clock. We should be right around 33 degrees, 35 by 9, 36 by 10. Clouds will be on the increase as we go throughout the morning, but with the breeze, we will have a wind chill likely around 20 to 25 degrees. But I think the bigger story is just the fact that we are so much warmer this morning as opposed to, say, this time on yesterday. A lot of these temperatures are anywhere from 14 to 34 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. That is a much more noticeable difference, folks. And that's what we're going to focus on as we go through the rest of today. It's just going to be the fact that it's going to feel so mild, though still being chilly for this time of the year. We're also watching another light snow event that could come Sunday night into Monday. I don't expect accumulation out of this, but the big story beyond that is going to be the cold that we're going to be seeing as we head into next week. So let's stay focused on today's warmth. 30 is where we're starting out the morning in Madison. Janesville starting out right at the freezing mark. La Crosse, folks, is already at 33 degrees, so they are 1 degree above freezing there. This is all brought to us by those winds coming out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. As long as we keep that southerly wind in play, that does mean we are going to be staying warmer as we go throughout the day. And this is good news for Badger football this afternoon. I think temperatures will be right around 40 for kickoff. By halftime, though, we do start to see those temperatures fall back into the 30s, 37 at halftime. Fifth quarter, we should see that temperature right around 36, but we're going to be staying dry. I know the radar has shown some snowflakes at times, especially if you've been pulling out your smartphone, you're looking on the Channel 3000 app, and you're saying, Chris, it's showing snow over my house. Well, the air is still really dry, so a lot of this has not been able to reach the ground. But what we're seeing is a warm front that's pushing on towards the north and east. High pressure to our south means we keep those winds out of the south. That keeps us mild as we head through today. Check this out. Temperatures at 11 o'clock are at 36 degrees. We'll warm up towards 41 this afternoon, and then we are going to be staying at least somewhat mild overnight before those winds take a turn out of the north. Look for lows tonight right around 30. That northerly wind sticks around as we head through your Sunday, and then eventually Sunday night we'll see a push of flurries come on through. There'll be some light snow, but I don't expect much in the way of accumulation from that. Alert days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday due to the cold. A lot of those temperatures could be in record territory. The low Monday night into Tuesday is 6. The record low is 7.
All right. So we could hit a new record?
Yes, we could be sailing new waters. That's what I like to say sometimes.
I like to say, yeah. Well, I mean, pushing through the ice in the waters, because it's going to...
I know.
Oh, God. All right, we can't even talk about it.
Ice picking.
Ice pick, yes. Well, we have been asking you to share your morning with us and check out this photo. This is sent in by Bubba. He is one of our crews actually directing this show right now. Normally, I pick the picture. Bubba picked it today, and I'm glad he did. What a gorgeous photo. What does your morning look like? You can take a picture and post it on Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here. And a reminder to stick with News 3 all day long, and then tomorrow morning we'll take you to one of Madison's newest eateries, a coffee shop combining ethnic food and fresh brewed drinks, filling a void our city didn't even know we had. But first, fighting cancer one punch at a time, we'll introduce you to a fierce group of survivors working to knock out a common enemy and inspiring us all in the process. We'll be right back. Finally this morning, every year, nearly 2 million Americans are diagnosed with cancer. Now, one innovative organization is letting cancer survivors lace up their gloves to knock cancer out.
Chip Reed is at a boxing gym near the nation's capital where some of the fighters train.
At age 31, Annie Dragilich got blindsided by breast cancer.
Round one.
But now, healthy, she picked this fight.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine yourself in a boxing ring?
Never, no.
Annie is here with the help of Haymakers for Hope, a nonprofit that pairs people who are literally fighting for a cure.
Let's just say you don't want to fight a cancer survivor.
The group's founders met at the gym.
So you are a champion amateur boxer.
Yes.
Am I beyond your range where I'm sitting right now?
I can get to you pretty quick.
Julianne Kelly is also a cancer survivor.
After treatment, I kind of fell into a little bit of a depression, and I just said to myself, you're here. Other people don't get to experience what you're experiencing. Throw that out and do something good. And I started boxing, and I just absolutely fell in love with the sport. It was medicine for me just as much as chemo and radiation was. It was something that I needed.
Now in its 9th year, Haymakers for Hope has raised more than $13 million at 26 events, including Bells of the Brawl, featuring female fighters, Rumble in the Rockies, and this one in Washington.
1, 2.
Where Pranav Vora, a lymphoma survivor, also stepped into the ring.
Is there anybody you know who you think might be looking forward to you getting punched in the face?
Oh, plenty of people, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure I have some exes out there.
Haymakers for Hope provides a trainer and a gym, and they're not pulling any punches.
This is the real thing.
This is the real thing, yeah. I expect that my opponent's going to come out ready to knock me out, so.
Seriously, knock you out.
I mean, I hope
Not
she
just
doesn't,
win.
but.
Annie spent 4 months in grueling training, learning how to defend against and land haymakers of her own. Pranav trained 5 days a week. Even with his own business, 2 young kids, and a wife who wasn't always on board.
I didn't tell my wife until after the fact. And so every day she's like, if you want to continue doing anything like this, we're going to have a discussion about it.
But on fight night, she was in his corner.
Are you nervous?
I'm so nervous. We found out I was pregnant and he had cancer in the same month.
Annie's cheering section
Look at her.
included her mother and sister, also a cancer survivor.
She is tough.
Tough enough to beat more than breast cancer.
And the winner, awesome Annie Dragilich.
Are you surprised?
No.
No.
What did I tell you? I said
You said you were going to win.
Winning with the confidence that comes when you've already won the fight of your life.
And you don't have to be a cancer survivor to do this. Anyone who wants to fight cancer can volunteer. Next month, they'll hold their biggest event yet in New York and are hoping to take the cause around the country. Chris, you in?
Pretty cool stuff.
I've never done boxing or anything like that. Have you?
My cousins did as a little kid.
As a little kid? Oh, yeah.
It was always a big thing.
You have
so
some
he was
experience.
me with like the tiny little boxing gloves, but yeah, I never took
All right, well, we'll get you trained. We'll get you a rematch.
Sounds like a plan. Hey, rematches. Mother Nature. Fall and winter are going to fight it out today. Fall's going to win for today, but then winter comes in with a pretty powerful punch by the time you get you towards early next week. So we issued some alert days for that one just to make sure everyone was in the know. A record cold is possible, especially Tuesday morning, and Tuesday itself will struggle to get out of the teens for those highs.
Oh, burr. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. You can hang out with Chris and I for another hour starting at 8.